Okay, so I can see that there are 10 students. There are 10 students who have joined, and I have started the recording. So before we further proceed with today's content, I hope you are clear about the concepts of singly linked list, what we have discussed, and if anybody has any doubts, you are welcome to use 1 or 2 minutes now to get your doubts clarified. You are welcome to use microphone and raise your hands. Anybody has any doubts? Before that, I think yesterday only we discussed about how to write the concept of singly linked list in C++ environment. Did you started coding it? Did anybody has started implementing it? Yes? No? Maybe some of the students might be using chat box. Okay, only wish. Good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. 140 says yes. Okay, fine. So I hope you are clear about the concepts. So probably what I do is I'll open this online ID and I will copy the program that we have executed in yesterday's class for continuation of the topics of today's class. So what I'm doing is I am. Can anybody please cross confirm whether I have copied the same program that we have discussed in the class? So it's a
Yes, sir.
yeah, and we have created a temp node and I mean head temp and p node. Then we have done 4 choices. One is adding a node, second is displaying the list, third is terminating the application. So anybody has any doubts at any line or any segment of the code or the concept everybody is still yet clarified, you are welcome to ask any questions. I think somebody is asking. Yeah, please go ahead. Let me check the participants. 45 now. So anybody has any doubts, please raise now.
Sir, I have a doubt in case 2.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
Sir, can you explain the case 2 program?
Case 2. Okay, let me go to case 2. That means adding a node at the end. No. 2 is displaying the list, right? Case 2.
Yes, sir.
Displaying the list is very simple. What needs to be done is you take a dummy node P. Okay, you take a dummy node P, which is initially pointing to head, and you will have a meaningful information in P only if P is not null. Okay, so in line number 60, you are checking whether P is null. Until P is not null, you are printing. Okay, you are printing head arrow. You have started printing head arrow X. So that means when P is equal to, let us say, head, you are printing the first element, which is A of 0. Then what are you doing? P arrow P next. It is nothing but pointer which is pointing to the next node. So you are saying that that is my P. So that means you started engine. You have printed in line number 62 what is the value of that engine. You are taking P to get the address of your first bogie. If that first bogie has some data, then it will be not null. Then it will be not null. So that first bogey arrow X you are printing, which is line number 62, and you are again further moving whether you have the second bogey. So typically your test condition is you are traversing P unless you get a last bogey. That is nothing but P arrow P next. If it is null, then you don't have any other connected node, then you are terminating. I hope I am clear. If you are having any problem, am I audible?
Yes, sir. It's clear, sir.
Am
Yes,
I
sir.
audible? I'm getting some interrupts here. I don't. I assume the recording is happening, and Is my voice is audible? Can somebody respond?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Let me check the participants. Okay, 52. Good. Fine. So, good afternoon, everybody. And let us start our next class, which is, the continuation of the previous contents that we have discussed. So, as I said before, we further proceed. If anybody has any other doubts, still you are welcome to raise. No doubts? No doubts? Okay. So, now let us, before I go there, let me raise one simple doubt. Please concentrate. I hope the editor is visible. Now concentrate on line 10. So assume that you are willing to store an integer array of 5 elements. This is the syntax of declaring a 1D array. Yes or no? This is a syntax of declaring a 1D array in order to store consecutively total 5 records with a size of each record having theoretically 2 bytes. That means what is the size of A is nothing but 5 into 2, which is nothing but 10 bytes. Sir, no. Somebody acknowledge, is my voice is audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So what I have written is correct? Line number 10?
Yes, sir.
Now assume that I am converting my one-dimensional linear data structure into a single linked list, saying that head initially pointing to null, and assume that I am maintaining total 5 nodes. I am totally maintaining total 5 nodes because my requirement is to store 5 elements. Now, what is the size I am demanding here? The size you are demanding here is nothing but 5 into size of your node, which is nothing but 5 into 4, which is nothing but 20. So, on first statement, when you are saying that you require only 10 bytes of memory, which is lesser when compared with the memory requirement, which is for 20 bytes, which is with the 20 bytes. If you apply the concept of non-linearity and bring in the concept of singly linked list, then on what basis you say that singly linked list is efficient? You understood my question? Can someone
Yes, sir.
respond? So what is the answer? So is line number 10 is efficient or 11 is efficient? I'm making a claim saying that if I maintain a 1D array with 5 elements, the size which is required is typically 10 bytes. On the other hand, if you are asking me to do a singly linked list, you are asking to write extra code, and also each node comprises of 4 bytes. So 4 cross 5 will be 20 bytes. Then on what basis you technically specify that singly linked list is better programming than a 1D array? What is the answer? What is the answer? Yes, anybody can come in. Anybody can come in. I want the interaction to happen. Can you use microphone, or you want me to raise up a specific roll numbers?
Sir, only due to memory holes are used, so we can say this is efficient.
How is it efficient?
Only due to memory holes are used.
Only due to? No, I didn't get your point. What is the reason you are mentioning?
Only due to memory holes are used, no, sir.
Only due to memory holes. you are using single linked list.
Means
So that means now the point is on what basis you confirm that you are getting, or there is a likelihood of getting the memory holes. Okay, anyway, let me take up that. See, don't think too much. What is the definition of singly linked list? Singly linked list allows you to logically maintain an array by connecting discrete memories. So even if you are maintaining, or even if you are asking to maintain 5 nodes, every time you are asking only 4 bytes of memory. And in contrary, on line number 10, you are asking continuous 10 bytes. So asking continuous 10 bytes could yield null pointer to return, probably because you don't have continuous 10 bytes. Okay. So on the other hand, asking 4 bytes will definitely yield to capitalize the unused discrete memory locations. So the catch here is you are bringing the approach of logically linking the discrete memories. Okay, so am I clear? Am I clear? Are you following?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let us come to today's class. So what we will do is, okay, let me use the list of participants, and before it's already 12:30 now. I want all of you to drop your roll numbers. I want all of you to drop your roll numbers in the chat box. Drop your roll numbers. Let me run through the list of absentees. List of absentees are 1, 141, 141, 143, then 146, 147, then 154,
46 present.
154, and 164, and 170, 170. No, I think Nikhil. What is your number, Nikhil?
46.
46. Okay, drop your number in chat box. Okay, fine. So let us continue today's problem with today's class with this problem. So you are asked to construct a singly linked list. You are asked to construct a singly linked list to maintain a 1D array of unknown integers as the data set, prompting with the following options. Okay, so let us assume that for the last problem which we have done, you have already given the options of 3. What are those? One is adding a node, and second is display the list, and third is coming out from the application. Now here, now please concentrate. You are asked to implement a C++ function in order to create a head. And second is add a node at the end. And third is add a new head. Okay. So now the point is, what we are discussing here is how to bring in the concept of modularity by using or by applying the concepts of functions. Okay. So how to apply the concepts of functions for the problems which are pertaining to singly linked lists. Okay, so here, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here, all of you please remember that, I hope everybody are settled now. All of you please make a note that for any problem which is pertaining to singly linked list, whether the problem is being asked in order to write a C++ function, or without a function, or with a class with a function, or whatever it is, the first and the foremost thing that you have to do is write the structure. Okay, so that is the first step. First step is you tell that you are going to consider a node with X as the data item and P next as the pointer to the next data next record. This is step 1. please understand how to decompose problems. Okay, our logics, when it is being asked in questions, are asked questions either in your external exams or in interviews. Okay, so whenever a question is being asked, first you assume that the singly linked list node structure is this, which is type def struct node int x and node star p next, which we have already considered in the last class. Okay, so this is point number one. Writing the structure is mandatory. Otherwise, how do I know that you are considering X as the data item? Or how do I know that P next you are considering as the pointer to the next node? How do I know that you are considering node as a node? I mean, node as a record. So writing the structure is compulsory. This is point number one. And point number two is, once you have written the structure, this structure you always write with the type def and make that as global, so that this structure instance can be created both either in main or in any other functions. This is point number two. Okay, so write the wrapper structure data type with the type def with appropriate meanings, with appropriate variable names. This is point number one. And write that structure outside of the main. Make that structure as a wrapper data type by writing type def and by writing its scope as global, so that the structure instances can be created both in main as well as in any of the functions. This is point number two. Next, point number three is, whatever requirement is being told, you visualize the logical interpretation of the problem. Now let us take the first one. First one is, list itself is not there. You are asked to create. That means you write a box which is something like this. It's a yellow box which I have shown on the screen. Okay, so then you mark some address, which is any address. I'm considering for a time being as 400, and this you are considering it as a head node or the root node. Okay, am I clear? And next is, just go through the, next is, if you are asked to write any other logics, you write a linked list like this. You write a linked list like this, but when you are drawing it, please understand what I am discussing is, what are the phases that as a student you need to solve for writing for getting the logics pertaining to linked list. Okay, so first what you do is, you write some 2 or 3 nodes. Assume that you are asked to write a C++ function to add a node at the last. So you write probably these 3 nodes, okay, with some values. Now when you are writing this, so before drawing this linked list, you need to do 2 more things. What are those 2 more things? First is, you have to mandatorily write the structure with appropriate variables. Second, create that as a global fellow. Okay, and then assume that you are using head. What is it? Node star head. Then third is, write the pictorial representation of problem which is being asked. For a time being, consider that you are asked to attach a last node to the list. That means you need to consider an already available list. So I am considering an already available list like this. So in this, I am treating the, when you are drawing the boxes, you draw the boxes and you write some addresses. Now let us say I have written 400, 500 and 145. Now after writing 400, and after once you have written 500, this 500 has to be written here. Now this is the biggest mistake done by the students. If you don't write 500 here, then how do you tell that the first node is pointing to the second node? That is technically not correct. Can somebody acknowledge? Am I audible? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. First, you write any numbers, that is okay. But when you are filling up your nodes, whatever is the next node's address, that has to be written inside the second field. And writing the arrows with the links. Arrow from left to right is compulsory, and indicating which node is a head node is also compulsory. Okay, so are these points are clear? So once you write this, then logic will come easily. Okay, so I'm just going back. Now in today's class, let us start recreating a singly linked list with the functions. Okay. So are these 3 points that you have to keep in mind are clear? If anybody needs any clarity, you are welcome to raise. Am I clear? Let me again repeat. Write the structure, put it in global, draw the picture. Then focus on the problem. Now, what is the problem I am talking about now? Creating a head node. That means what? Using a function. So, shall I proceed? Can somebody acknowledge? 127. Somebody acknowledge? Somebody? Anybody? Are you following?
Sir.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, good. Next is I need to apply the concepts of functions. Now here I have two approaches. Approach. See, this is very important. Before you actually start somebody's, implementation, you need to understand how do I need to approach. Okay. So first approach is, let me go back. Yeah. So first approach is, see, this is the problem which has been asked. So what I can do is concentrate on main. If I create node star head and then initialize it as null outside of main, that means what? This is nothing but global variable. Yes or no?
Sir.
So what is the advantage of creating a head node? Because you are asked to maintain a singly linked list of only one data, you are welcome to create the head node as a global instance so that you can access that. Here you can access or you can access in any of the functions. For example, create head is a function. So inside this function also you can access. Yes or no? So as a result, you don't need the extra argument. You don't need extra argument to be passed when a specific function needs to be invoked. This is method 1. What am I talking about? I am talking about when you are asked to implement a C++ singly linked list function using or applying the concept of modularity. The head node, which is the starting fellow of your singly linked list, can be written outside of the main, which is approach 1. The advantage of doing that is if you do declaration outside of the main, then that variable comes under global scope, meaning your head node is now accessible by the same name head both in main as well as in any of the other functions. So as a result, programmer need not explicitly pass the head node every time. This is advantage and the conclusion of approach 1. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Next, approach 2. Second approach is you define a head node local. Second approach, you define the head node as a local fellow. So this is a local. But when you do that, you cannot blindly assume that every function will get the head node unless and until you pass it. So that means what is that argument type? Node star. Let us assume H. Okay. So that means if you have defined a local head, and then if you want to create, then you have to pass not only create or any function. If you want to pass your singly linked list to a function, then passing your root node, that is nothing but the head node, is compulsory. This is in method 2. So one extra argument will be required, which is of type node star.
Notes.
Are you following?
Sir.
Okay. Now among these first and the second approaches which I have discussed, quite occasionally we use the first approach, and quite rarely we use the first approach, and is almost in all programs, we follow the second approach. Now you may ask, what is the reason? There are two reasons. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts, interrupt me.
Yes, sir.
Anybody has any doubts, you interrupt me. I can make my head fellow, I can make my head global, or I can make my head local. If I am maintaining my head global, I don't need to pass the arguments, my head node as a list of argument to whichever function that I want to deal with the single linked list logics. On the other hand, if I take a local head, then I need to alias it. Okay. So if I declare a local head which is in line number 16, and if there is a function which is in line number 19 where you want to do some activity inside fun, okay, so you have to pass head, and therefore when your turn comes, that means when the execution enters into create head or that fun, then h is aliased by head. Okay. So now this is method 2 or approach 2. Also notice that address of head is not same as address of h. Agreed? Yes or no? Address of
Yes, sir.
different and address of h is different, remember. But head is pointing and h is pointing to same address. Head is equal to h is equal to root node. Clear? Clear? Because what
Yes, sir.
here is not reference parameter, that is ampersand, is star. Here, somebody please come in.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, among the two strategies that I have discussed, one as a global and second as a local, always use local. Always use local. Local head, pass that fellow. What is the advantage? The advantage, there are two advantages. Okay, first advantage is, assume that you are asked to maintain multiple linked lists. Let us say course marks of C++ or course marks of internal marks of, let us say, BEE. Okay, so BEE is one list, C++ is one list. So you can't maintain everything global. Okay, so you can generalize that as pointer to any marks, and you can invoke whichever course that you want to address. That is reason one. Reason one is, in order to bring in multiple lists in the program, it is always advised to use a local instance. Don't create unnecessarily global instance. Now reason two is, your methods will be very clear. Your methods will be very clear which node you are catching and what are you doing, and you can also return the same node, same linked list head node. So go look at the slide here. Assume that you are asked to create the head. Now what I will do is, I will not create head in main. Okay, I'm using option 2. When I use option 2, I'm creating node star head in main. Creating means declaring. I'm declaring node star head is equal to null in main, but head is pointing to null. Okay, now I'm passing head, which is aliased in my create head function as h. Now inside the function, I'm creating head. That means h, which is alias of head, is equal to new node. And then I'll do the creation, and then I'll return finally h only. Are you following? So in summary, among the two approaches that I have discussed, if you use the global approach, you don't require the first argument. On the other hand, if you use the first approach as well as the second approach, there is no need even to return node star. Instead, you can even return void, because whatever changes you are doing with alias, it is going to be reflected because you are using call by reference. Now, once if you are comfortable with these fundamentals, we will start coding the functions which are as a part of the requirement that I have just projected on the screen. Anybody needs any clarity? Interrupt.
Sir, please repeat.
Yes.
Sir, please repeat first advantage. Sir.
First advantage of usage of local instances is, the first advantage is, if you have multiple linked lists to be maintained, then there could be ambiguity wherein you need to repeatedly pass. Assume that there is a function, let us say add at the end. Okay, so you are adding, let us say, course marks of first course. Okay, so first course data is different, second course data is different, third course data is different. So courses you handle in local function where inside main. Okay, so don't put it in global. That's a minor advantage. I hope you are clear. Any
Sir,
doubts?
sir, sir, by keeping head in global, why can't we do again?
No, no.
Means why can't we handle?
The point is,
Why can't we handle
I'm again
subgroups?
saying the point is, you can write the head node as a global node, and that is also correct. But when you do that, then you are not communicating the head node from main to the function. There is no need actually, because head node is accessible in any part of the code.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so instead, if you are asked to pass the head node, therefore I am explicitly coding by using the second method. I am again repeating, there is no crude and hard way that you have to only use second method. No, you can use first,
Okay, sir.
no problem. So shall I proceed?
Okay, sir.
Any other
Yes,
doubts?
sir.
Any other doubts? Okay, so let us start programming it. What I'll do is, let me create.
Second advantage.
Yeah, somebody is saying something.
Second advantage, sir.
I'm not getting. Come again.
Second advantage
Second
of using a
advantage. Second advantage of what?
using a local fellows.
Local instance usage is, at any given point, at any given function call, inside the function, you will be clear in terms of which linked list you are processing. If it is global, if you have many lists in global, then if you are doing, let us say, probably display or adding the job, then at a given point of time, you may not be in a position to identify whose data you are adding or whose data you are displaying. Okay, so you will have a special locked, what is that, the list that will be, because of which you will be entering into the function. So let me again repeat, there are no hard rules specifying that only you use the first approach or the second approach. The another simple answer why I am using the second approach is because quite commonly you will get 2 marks questions. Quite commonly and quite often you will be asked to write or implement a C++ function that will access a singly linked list node head. That means you have to take it as a argument. Are you following? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
I'm using. There is nothing. There is no other. There is no other superficial that much technical advantage of usage of local. Okay. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us write main and let us cross verify whether our environment is ready. So let us say cout. This fellow is executing. Okay, fine. Okay, so let us start writing the writing our requirements. I'm making a transition between the slide and the C++ IDE. Are you in a position to see the same transition as I'm doing? Somebody acknowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now I'm writing the first. Hello, then let me minimize this. So type def struct node. So x and then node star p pointer to next node. Okay, so we will do the two things first: create the head node and then add at the end and then display. Let me write the function prototypes. It's going to return node star. Okay, create head node star, create head with some specific value. So what is that value is the data type, that is int. Then add the node at the end, add at end. Where to add? To the node star. With what to add is int. Then I don't need to return anything. I'll use display function in order to display a specific list, which is nothing but node star. These are my function prototypes. Clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Now I'm maintaining a node star head which is pointing to null. Okay. And what I'll do is choice and a number n. Okay, so I'll say that cout. I need to run a infinite loop. So it is while one. Inside this, I'll display the options. One is you add, to create the head node. Create the head, and two is add a node at end, and three is display the list, and four is exit from the application. And then I'll ask the user to enter. See in, let me accept that into choice. Now I'll write switch of choice. With 4 cases I'll get case 1, case 2, case 3 and case 4. Of course you will have 4 breaks. Okay, clear? Now let us concentrate on first one. Now what do you mean by first? That means user is willing to create a head. Okay. So here, if user has already created a head, before I further proceed, anybody has any doubts? I have written the skeleton of the program. Anybody has any doubts?
No, sir.
Anybody has any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, fine, good. Okay, fine, good. So now what I'm doing is, in case 1, I will validate that head is not null. If head is not null, that means head is already there. Then what is the point of creating a new head? It is not valid. So I'll say a message saying that head already exists. I'll throw this message and then I'll simply break from switch, so that he can, I'm asking the user, or I'm rather forcing the user to opt for other options. I'll come here only if I'm not breaking. Line number 31. Okay. So here I will ask the user to enter. Come here only when head node is null. Enter the head node. So I'm asking the user to enter the head node. Assume that user has entered some number which I'm taking into n. Now what I'm doing is I'll say head is equal to create head with head followed by n. Now notice that head is pointing to null here. Is pointing to null here. Head is pointing to null. Don't write equal to, head is pointing. Okay. So once this is done, I'll say that head node created successfully. Head created. Clear? Clear? Now I need to write the function definition. Shall I proceed? Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let us start writing the create head function. So that means I'll take the function prototype again. I have to take the formals. Now what I'll do is I'll take node star h, then int. Okay. Let us observe the logic once. Okay, so I'm switching back to the slide. Now you are into create head. Remember that I have written function prototype, and if you, you will be writing that function prototype if you would have written a global node star. But instead, I am writing local node star. So therefore, I am passing head, which I have considered in this slide as head. Okay. So now I have to set head is equal to new node. And then in head arrow x, I have to keep n. I have to make head arrow p next as null because my engine itself is the last bogey. Then I need to return head. This is how head has to be created. Any doubts? So once you call this function, head will be a non-null pointer. Shall I proceed?
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
sir, whatever happens to the means H is alias of headless, sir.
H is alias of head. Your voice is very scary. Maybe you can use the chat box. Please switch off your microphone. Let me check the chat box. Okay, you drop your question and then meanwhile, let me start coding it. Okay, shall I proceed? Others, please acknowledge. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. So H is alias of head here. Both H and head are pointing to same memory. Now what? H is equal to new node. So I'm assuming that new memory is available. At least 4 bytes is available. Then arrow x has to be k. Then H arrow pointer to next node has to be null. Anything else? That's it. Yes.
Return head.
Yeah, return. I have to return. So return h. I'm taking h, which was earlier pointing to null. I'm updating h. Okay, with the newly created node instance, keeping the data into that. And then I'm returning h. Okay, so case 1 is completed. Case 1 is completed. Yes or no? Now let us take case 2. What is case 2? Adding a node at the end or at the tail. Let us switch to slide. So assume that you are asked to write a C++ function to add a node at the end of the list. Then first you write the structure, then you specify that your head is a node star head. Then you draw a diagram like this with appropriate addresses. Okay, so that means you are starting at 400, which you are assuming it as head. Okay, so there is a new node whose value is 91 needs to be attached. Okay, so what has to happen? Assume that your function name is add at end or add at end. Whatever happens to h, maybe I'll address that question later. Focus on add at end. Add at end. Yeah, that is correct. Whatever happens to h, you will get a pain in main. That is there. And you have to do that. Okay. Shall I proceed? Can somebody acknowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Create a temp node, which is node star temp is equal to null. You take a p node, because if you don't take p, you will be corrupting head. Now you tell that temp is equal to new node type. Now this is nothing but your while loop, which we have done in the last class. So you run a for loop with the p pointing to h. Now assume that this is the list I have written. On the left hand side, observe the picture. So p is initially pointing to 400. Okay, so p arrow p next. What is p arrow p next? 500. 500 is not null. Is it true or false? True. So there is a semicolon here. So this is a bodiless for loop. Then what are you doing? You are asking p to be changed. Changed with what? P earlier, which is pointing to 400. You are asking p to move to p arrow p next. What is p arrow p next? 500. So p points to 500. So earlier p was pointing to engine. Now p is pointing to first bogie. Now again, 500 arrow p next. What is that? That is 145. Is it null? No, it is not null. So is the condition is true? It is true. So what? So p has to be traversed. So what are you doing in this for loop? You are starting at the root node and you are traversing till the end of the list. So once you get p arrow p next, which will happen at p is equal to 145. When your p is at 145, then 145 arrow p next is null. I'm assuming that this is null. This was the last node. So p will be stopped at 145. So is this point is clear? Please traverse once and raise if you have any doubts. Now another point is, if I don't use p, then you are corrupting head, because whatever changes you are doing in the main, in the function, will be getting reflected back in main. So you have to mandatorily take p and then you use p in order to traverse the end of the singly linked list. Am I clear? Shall I proceed? Any doubts? Anybody has any doubts? Use your mic. Now let me check your chat box. Whatever happens to h will be reflected in main. So why should we once again return? There is no need to strictly return, but this is a sort of policy. It is not required. What you said is also correct, 158. Okay, so what you said is correct. Why to put it in private? Put it in, throw your messages to everyone. Okay. So he has raised a question saying that if you are creating at the time of creation, whatever happens to h will be reflected back. Yeah, it is true. So, and then why to return the node star? That is the question. So there is no need to return, but the reason why I have taken node star is here. There is no need to return head here. So you can probably write void here. Okay, but some situations where you are actually writing or creating a linked list in a process, at this point of time, it is little deeper to actually consider. So what I'm trying to tell you is, when you are executing this function, if there is a function call which is happening before the end of this function, then there is a possibility that this node star may be getting corrupted, which is because of interrupts, which I will not discuss at this point of time. Can you please somebody acknowledge? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Audible. I'm again going back to the list. Yeah. So where are you stopping? You are stopping at 145. Is the node traversal till the end of the last list, starting from the root node, which in our diagram is 400 with the singly linked list, and stopping P, where P initially starts aliased by head, which is 400, where P is equal to H. So you are starting P at 400, you are moving P, and you are stopping P at 145. Is this point is clear? Once it is clear, then you focus on the other connections. What are the other connections which are pending? P arrow P next. P arrow P next, which was null because of what you stopped. Now you keep that with 365. What is 365? Newly created node. So this is, you are filling up with a meaningful next discrete memories address, which is 365. Then what you have to keep? You have to keep your 365, which is nothing but temp arrow x has to be k. Temp arrow x has to be k. And finally, temp arrow p next has to be null. Then only it will be a meaningful linked list. And this is not required because we will write this in the main. And then finally return h. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us start coding this. Let us start coding this, adding a node at the end. So cout, the node value that needs to be added. Okay, so let us read that into n. Now head is equal to add at end of head, pass head and pass n. Okay, so once you return, you can say that cout n node at end is added. Okay, so now let us start writing the function definition. I have copied the prototype. Now I'm starting writing the function definition. So this is node star h. Now let me take k here. Okay, so I need to create node star temp, initially pointing to null. Okay, then temp is equal to new node type. Then I also need to traverse the list till the end of the list. So for that purpose, I'm taking node star p pointing to null. Then for p is equal to head and p arrow pointer to next node is not equal to null. I need to change the value of p as p arrow p next. Okay, so here this is nothing but node traversal. Start at head and stop at tail. This is what you are doing. So here p points to tail. After this loop, p points to last node. Okay. Now what I have to do? Temp is ready, p is ready, and p is actually pointing to the last fellow. So p arrow pointer to next node. You update this with the newly created temp. Are you following? Can somebody respond?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
P arrow p next. You update that with the newly created temp node, and then temp arrow x is nothing but your k, because temp is the last fellow. Temp arrow p next is, and then you return h. Done? Adding is done. Next,
Sir, in line number 28,
line number 28.
28. P arrow P next equal to temp arrow P.
No. P arrow P next is equal to temp, new node. Your new node is temp. See, P is 145. P arrow P next, which was null, has to be temp. What is temp? 365. 365 is temp. Here temp is 365. In our example, temp is 365. Following? I'm assuming temp is 365. So this 365 has to be copied into P arrow P. So P arrow P next has to be temp. Yes or no? Yes or no? P arrow P next is temp. Yeah, correct only. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And finally, let us display and let us start executing. Case 3, this is nothing but display. So what I will do is cout. I will simply say that the singly linked list is. Okay, so let us use display and I'll pass the head node. It returns nothing, void. What I'll do, I'll copy the function prototype and then just above main, I'll start writing the display logic. So node star, let us say h. So what has to be done? I should not corrupt head again. So therefore, I'm taking p, which is initially pointing to null, which is later pointing to h, and just putting it into while loop. So until p is not equal to null, P is not equal to null, what has to be done? I'll write cout. I'll write cout what? P arrow X. Then I'll also indicate a symbol of link with arrow. Okay. And then semicolon. Once I have reached the end, I'll say that cout end L so that I can go to the next line. Are you following? But there is a bug. I have to update P. P has to be changed with P arrow P next. What happened? Are you there? Anybody? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Shall I compile? Now let us take 4. 4 is nothing but exit, means cout. Cout 123 is requesting to annotate. Why do you need? I'm declining it.
Sir, by mistake, sir.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Okay, cout case 4. Good day. Return, I think. Okay, NDL, and then delete head. Delete head, and then I'll say return 1 because I have to return. Okay. So if you see this, we are bringing the concept of modularity to the earlier problem or to the earlier solution. Okay, where you have segregated the different processes of a singly linked list, let it be the creation of the head node or adding the node at the end or the display part, and the generic code you are handling in main. So shall I start compiling? Shall I start compiling? Shall I start compiling?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first create the head node. Assume that let me take 1 and then let me create the head node with let us say some number 61. Okay, so head is created. Let me keep. Now let me display directly. I will display 3. 61. Next is nothing. Okay. Now again I'll add the node. let us add maybe 401. Enter the node value that needs to be added. Node at the end is added. Now let me again display, which is 3. So 61 and then 401. Okay. Now let me again add another node. Let us add maybe 55. Node is added. Now let me again display 3. So 61, 401, 55. Now let me again try to create a head. Head is already there, 61. So head already exists. So therefore you are not allowing. Then let me press 3 and display. Let me add another one more node. So let us say 277. Added. Then let us display. Clear? Any doubts? Any doubts? Can you please respond? Somebody respond. Any doubts? Are you following? I couldn't hear anybody's voice.
Yes, sir.
Are you following?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I also advise all of you to please start doing the programming. Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult to sit in front of your systems. Okay, because telling these logics in presence itself require careful attention, and we are virtually connected. Please be interactive. Are you following? What
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have just arrived the yesterday's problem with the functions, where specific operation we have separated from main. We have separated from main, and then what we will do is we will now keep on integrating multiple other features. Before that, let me hang on with a reflection question here. I think is the slide is visible? Okay, so what I'll do is, can somebody respond? Are you listening? Is my voice is audible?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I'm going to put a link on the chat box, and there will be 2 questions in that link, which is now open for next 30 seconds. You are asked to enter your 3 digits roll number and answer, and only those students who will be answering within this 30 seconds, the attendance will be considered. Okay, so I'm going to open the chat box. Yeah, let me open the chat box. Where is that? Click on the link and start answering the questions.
Not receive.
Yes,
Did not receive, sir.
it is there in the chat box. Link is there in the chat box. Did you got?
Yes, sir. Now I got it.
Yeah. So take 2 minutes. Sorry, take 30 seconds. There are 2 questions. You are asked to answer the 2 questions. Can somebody respond? Is my voice is clear?
Yes, sir.
The list of participants, 54 students are there. Good.
Sir,
Yeah.
once again explain that line number 26 in the program.
I'll do that. Have you completed that quiz?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just hang on. I'll go to that. Okay.
ఆన్సర్లు వస్తాయని పెట్టిన 2 క్వశ్చన్
Okay, so last 10 seconds.
పెట్టిన కన్ఫర్మ్ చేస్తాను.
So I hope you can also see my web page.
Yes, sir.
There are 42 responses. For 2 marks, you are getting 0.7 average score. That means you are all not attentive. Okay, last 5 seconds. 51. Last 5 seconds. So I think there are some proxies which are claiming that they are physically connected, but logically they are not connected. So I am going to consider only these 51 responses as the attendance. If anybody else, if you are unable to attend the session because of networking issues, you are advised to report me before 3 o'clock. Okay, so let me stop responses. Let me stop responses. Where is that? Let me close this. Settings. In settings, I'm stopping. So, but I can see that there is only 0.8 average score. Anyway, let us go through the questions. Your name, I hope everybody know your, no, not name, your roll number. Okay, so what is the correct answer?
Yes, sir.
Linked list, it is a discrete physical self-referential structures, contains the data of user's single record along with the address of the next record, treated as if they are connected logically in continuous memory. This is the definition of singly linked list. Okay. And which unit and which topic we are studying? We are in unit 5. It is not unit 4, it is unit 5, singly linked list. Okay, I think responses are also visible, but oh, I got 66 responses. No, that was earlier one. Okay. What is okay? These are responses. Fine. Let us return to our somebody is asking some doubt. Go ahead. Line number, something you are saying.
26.
Line number
26.
20. Yeah.
Sir, in this bodiless loop, we are traversing to the last bogie.
20.
Line number 27.
Yeah. Yes.
27.
Yes.
We are traversing to last bogie. So then PRO P next, how it will be equal to temp, sir? It should be temp arrow P next.
I'm not getting. Come again.
Sir, PRO P next equal to temp, you have written, sir.
PRO P next is equal to temp. That is correct only. Then what is that you are thinking needs to be written? Stop here. Yeah. What is that it needs to be written?
PRO P next equal to temp arrow P next.
No, wrong. See the diagram. See the diagram. What are you saying is, now P is 145. What is PRO P next? As of now, it is null. Now PRO P next needs to be.
Slide not.
Slide is not visible.
Slides.
Slide
No, sir.
visible.
No, sir.
No, let me again share the slide. Visible.
Yes.
Is it visible?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So P is pointing to 145. Okay. So PRO P next, earlier it was null, which is cross symbol here. So what has to be written here? 365. Who is 365? Temp. 365 is temp. Are you following? So P arrow P next, which was earlier null, needs to be replaced with the temp. Then only a link is connected. Clear? Clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other doubts? Now assume that before I further take up another function, assume that I am asking you to display the linked list using recursion. I repeat my question. Write a C++ function to display the linked list using recursion. That means I want to comment this from here till here. I want you to display by using recursion. The logic? Yes, anybody? Node star h using recursion. So h is nothing but alias of head. You have to start displaying h arrow x until your alias itself is null. That is your base condition. So if h is double equal to null, then there is nothing to be displayed. So what you have to do is see out probably NDL. Probably you display the last symbol as X and then NDL. Can somebody respond? Are you following? Can you return?
Yes, sir.
Sir, line number 38, see out it. Only 100 that's a majority.
Now next, if H is not null, then whatever is there, which is pointing by H, arrow of X has to be printed along with the symbol of link. And then I'll again call display function. I'll pass the address of the next node. That's it. Check it out. Assume that let us map this with this. P is 400. No, H is 400. 400, is it null? No, you are in C out. What are you printing? 400 arrow X. What is 400 arrow X? 41. And what are you doing? You are again
41.
display. You are calling display with whom? H arrow, H next. Pointer to next. What is that? 500. You are calling this with 500. So you are again entering into display with 500. Now what is 500 arrow P next? Is it null? No, not arrow. 500 itself. Now H is 500. Now is that 500 is null? No. Now what are you displaying? 500 arrow X. What are you displaying? 35. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then H arrow P next
Yes, sir.
is 145. You are taking 145. You are entering again with 145. You are displaying 145 arrow X. 145 arrow X is 76. Assume that this fellow is the null. Then again H arrow P next is null. Now because it is null, you will be displaying that last engine bogey symbol with X, and then you are returning, and then again return 3 times. Because there is a closing brace here. Okay, so shall I execute this? So let me enter the head node 1 with let us say 41. Created. Now let me add a node 2 with maybe 402. Now display is the function that we have written recursively. So 41, 402, and then X. Clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I advise you is please start before you. I just wanted to know genuinely, like, how many of you have started linked list? Just put that you have done your programming in linked list using the chat box? Nobody? 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 I hope you are sir done, but had some doubts. Okay, but you have to execute it. Start executing it. Okay. So maybe after the end of this class, make ensure that you spend some time and spending on this logical related courses for at least typically for 1 hour per day is as good as spending some continuous some 200 hours just before the exams, and that is not at all productive. The second one.
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
Okay, no, what I'm asking you to do is make ensure that you are learning the concepts and also start coding it. Okay, fine. I think we don't have enough time. Maybe I'll add one more thing. Let us assume that you are asked to add a new head. Shall I proceed? Can somebody respond? Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay, so let us assume that you are asked to add a new head to the list. Okay, so you already had a list, which is this. Your earlier head is pointing to 400. Now one new head has to be added. Okay, now let us see what has to be done. Okay, add new. Okay, voice is getting breaks. What about now? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so assume that there is a function, or assume that you are
Yes, sir.
implement a function whose name is add new head, which has to accept the root node and the value with which the new node needs to be added as a head, and you are asked to write inside the function to attach this new head. Okay, so again you have to take node star temp as null, create that temp fellow. Now temp arrow x is k, temp arrow p next is h, because this is temp, 700 is temp. So temp arrow p next has to be h, that is head. So you have to keep this earlier head into temp arrow head, isn't it? And then you have to return the updated head. That means you also need to change h. There is a bug here. You have to change h. H has to be temp. You can't return h. H is again 100 only. H has to be changed to temp. And then you return h. So shall I continue? Shall I add this to the code? Shall I proceed? I'll take another 10 minutes probably. Let me retain a non-recursive code. Can somebody acknowledge? Somebody talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am writing what? A node star returning function which will add new head. Hope that is the function name. Add new head. Yeah. So that is node star with a specific value. Okay. So now what I am going to do is just above main. Okay. So I'll take h, then I'll take probably k, and then I'll take node star temp is equal to null initially, and then temp is equal to new node type. Now you already have h, now you already have temp. Now you have to appropriately fix the links. That means what? Temp arrow next has to be head, is h here. Okay, H arrow P next, there is no need to change. That link anyway, it will be there. Next what? Temp arrow X
X.
will be K. Next what? H itself is updated. That means H is temp. Yes or no? H is temp. Next what? C out or directly return H. You write the message there. Add new head. So let us keep that as option 5. Add new head. Okay, so let us write case 5. Add a new head. Break. So now here C out. Add a new head. New head with what value? Take that into n. Then you say that node, no, not node, what is that? Head is equal to add new head of head comma n. Then you throw a message saying that new head node is added. Okay. Understood. Shall I compile? Shall I compile? Shall I compile?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, let us create the head node 1. Let us create multiples of 15. Then head node is created. Then let me display 3. 15. Now again, let us add 15 2s are 30. Added. Let me again add one more fellow, that is 45. And let me add one more fellow, that is 60. Now let me display first. No, not 4, 3. 3 is display. Okay, now I want to add 75 at the beginning. That means option 5. Add new head with what value? Let us say 75. New head node is added. Okay, let us display, that is 3. Okay, so 75 is at the beginning now. 75, 15, 30, 45 and 60. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So likewise, any requirement can be converted into a module, and that module can be asked for 2 marks. For example, if this is the list, assume that you are asked to insert a list after the head node. That means after 41. I think I took the same value, just pardon me with that. Can somebody respond? Why are you not responding? Assume that this is the link. So assume that you are asked to, your voice is breaking still. Okay, assume that you are asked to insert a node after the third node. That means after 76, I need to add one node. Can somebody respond? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So this is the advantage of singly linked list compared with the arrays. Assume that you have an array. Let us say the array elements are 41, 35, 76 and 91. Let us say I want to insert the element 99 in between 35 and 76. How do you do it in an array? Let me repeat. You already have an array, 1D array, 41, 35, 76, 91. In between 35 and 76, I want to keep 99 here. Is it possible in an array? It is not possible. You have to do memory copy. Too much of redundant content or based code you have to write. Yes or no? You have to take a buffer array and then copy and then do that scaling. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
On the other hand, if I'm asking you to insert a node with a number 99 in between 35 and 76, what you have to do is, you can actually dictate the code here. What is that? It is node star temp is equal to null, temp is equal to new node. Now assume that some address you got, then you move p, starting from p is equal to head, you iterate until you get this 35, so that p is pointing to 500. Now p arrow next, which was 145, that p arrow next needs to be stored in temp arrow p next. That means temp arrow p next is nothing but p arrow p next. Okay, and earlier whatever was p arrow p next, that has to be stored in temp arrow p next. Okay, so this code we will do it again in the next class. So inserting a specific node at a given place, inserting a specific node after a given value, or inserting a given node just before the tail node. Okay, or assume that you are asked to inverse the entire list. Make the head node as a tail node and tail node as a head node. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Next, you also have
Yes, sir.
a data. Assume that you are asked to do sorting. That means 41, 35, 76, 91. You need to sort it. So how to write bubble sort? How to apply selection sort on linked list will be discussed in the next class. And why only addition? What about deletion? For example, if I have a long list and I want to delete the entire list with a specific value, or I want to maintain a linked list such that there are no duplicate nodes. Are you listening?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so such questions, these are all will be implemented by using functions. Okay, so let me stop here. At this time, shall I give you the third assignment? Shall I give you the third assignment? At least I'll open the question. Shall I?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now
Yes, sir.
third assignment is, shall I proceed? Can somebody respond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the third assignment is, you maintain linked lists. You maintain linked lists, multiple lists. How many linked lists? 26 linked lists. Why 26? Because in English you have A to Z. So the requirement is something like this. You allow the user to enter any English word. You allow the user to enter any English word. For example, he is entering apple, A for apple. So whichever word user is entering in the initially created 26 array of lists, if the user is entering a word pertaining to A, then you maintain a list in that first array. Are you following? There are 26, see, 41, let us assume 41 is A, 35 is B, 76 is C. That means from 41 onwards, there is a train with only A words. Okay, so this 41, 35, 76 will be array of linked lists, where 41 you need to maintain all those words that are entered by the user instead of 41 which are starting with A. That means apple, animal, anger, okay, age, all those words, whatever user has entered, you need to maintain in the first array of linked list. In the second array of linked list, you need to maintain and print all those words that are started with B and so on up to Z. So eventually what I'm asking you to do is, I'm asking you to design an artificial neuron I'm asking you to design an artificial neuron which will probably called as the neural network, a single layer neural network, a single layer neuron, and whatever user has entered, you maintain that as the sort of memory. Are you following? So allow the user to enter as many words as possible, and you maintain the list and display in the matrix form. That means all A words and then all B words in a linked list form. That means your data is a string here. X is nothing but a string. Can somebody respond? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me stop here. If anybody needs any clarity, you can interrupt me now. Any doubts? Is the assignment what I have given? Have you understood the question?
Yes, sir.
Somebody respond. Did you understood the question? I'm asking you to maintain total 26. I'm asking you to maintain an array of total 26 entries, where in each entry, one specific English character based words singly linked list exists. I'll again rewrite that probably in a single slide, and then I'll put across to the group. Okay. So in the next class, we will see the logics that are pertaining to insertion, deletion, sorting, and searching of singly linked list. So I'll stop here and let me sign off, and let me again re-emphasize the important aspect of programming. Singly linked list, and in other words, the nonlinear programming with linked list, is a very important benchmarking aspect of any logic design engineer. Okay, so therefore you are advised to at least start the fundamentals of linked list and start looking into the programs which we have discussed in today's and yesterday's class, so that the other logics that will be discussed tomorrow and other subsequent classes you will better understand. Okay, so with this I'll stop today's session. If anybody has any doubts, nobody is talking. Anybody has any doubts?
I have a doubt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, in the assignment question which you just said right now, like, should we give like as many inputs from the user and then classify them based on alphabetic?
Yes. For example, I'm keep on entering my sentence. How are you? I'm fine. I'm okay. So until a specific token is entered as an end of the string, you accept in while one. So all the words you segregate it and put it in a cell. That means put it in memory. It's nothing but we are converting our data into representation. Okay, in two-dimensional space, first array is nothing but the linked list that will have words which are starting with only A. Okay, so finally you just echo back. My intention why I am giving this is assume that whatever data the user has just entered, you have to keep that at the front. So this is the actual logic of predictive word analytics, which is being used in many search engines like Google or Amazon or MSN. Are you following? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think Akshaya. Okay, I'll stop here. Just give a try about that assignment and let me stop the recording. And I'll post the lecture note as well as the slide, as well as the code, as well as the YouTube link once I'm done with the lunch. Okay, then take care. Bye.